Today we'll be tying size 16 blue wing olives. It's a common hatch on the Farmington River in Connecticut. Any day it's nice and wet and humid, or the day after a nice, good rain, I should say, they start hatching and they're always there. They are competing with a lot of different insects at this time of the year. It's late July. There's a lot of food coming down the river. However, I caught one the other day, a blue wing olive hatch. There were caddises on the water, but definitely I could follow the blue wing olives, and the fish were definitely taking the blue wing olives. Their dun wings were sticking, right up, a little bit of an angle towards the back, and we're going to make adjustments in our blue wing olive. The materials are going to be mustad hook, size 16, and that's the R50X 94845. We have a size 8 uni thread 8/0 in an olive color. For the wings, we're going to be using Atron and olive colored dubbing, fly right dubbing, and then of course a dun hackle for the collar. Let's get started. We get our hook on the vise, and it's a fine wire hook, so it moves, but that's what you want for the dry fly to float high in the water. You need a little bit of a lighter hook. And start our thread base, and I like a thread base all the way to the hook bend. Be nice and secure. Definitely I always tie my flies, I want them to last. So, and for the tail we're going to be using a dun colored hen hackle. Save time, have your materials prepared, and we're looking at possibly, I don't know, 8 fibers. Your size about the length of the hook shank. Nothing really spectacular as far as this is concerned. Standard. Use the pinch to tie in. And looking for, tapered, small body. So I just get literally 4 or 5 strands at a time. To get started. I might stretch it out a little bit and kind of moisten it up a little bit, and a few more strands towards the back end where you want it to be just a little thicker because of the tapering that you want. That's all. Alright, and push that up to tail, and we'll start. Just before the tie-in point of the tail. Alright, it's good. There's not very much dubbing. And we're going to take our hackle and prepare it, tie it in before we put the wing on. And I want to get rid of the fuzzy stuff. And what I like to do is snip off a few of the barbs at the tie-in point. It creates, leaves a little bit of the barb left, so that you know, really the string grabs, you know, the tying thread grabs really well. So tie that in. And all right, let's tie a wing of Atron on there. So as to not waste too much, I leave the Atron on the packaging that it comes in. And after 2 or 3 wraps, I can utilize that, okay, to pull my length approximate to where I want it to be. Snip off the excess. And, excuse me, finish tying her down. Make sure that's good and centered. And then what I do is tie back to the tying point, and I want to create a little bit of a thread dam in the back. I might dub a little bit of a body on there, of a thorax for my thread dam. So another little pinch of dubbing, not very much at all, for the thorax. And pull the thing forward, a little bit of a dam behind it. Thread dam, and go forward. And that's good. Okay. In this case, I have a nice long hackle, so I'm just gonna keep control of it with my hand. I want maybe 3 turns behind the wing, and a good 3 turns in front also. the location where I'm going to be fishing this particular fly is a little bit of quick water, so plenty of hackle there, so it'll float well. Pull back your okay. Like that. Use some of the rubber bands from the braces. Hold back the hackle when I'm doing my thread head. It works really good, really well. Tie a little half hitch in there and reset this again. Do my whip finish. And snip it close, but it doesn't. If you snip it on the bottom, it doesn't necessarily have to be all that close. And let's fix her up a little bit. The wing post is a little high, but I want it that way because I'm going to cut the size in a second here. Alright, so put our little rubber band at the end here. I might get a smaller one. Pull back those hackles and a little bit of head cement. Now to determine what length I want that wing post. Tail down a little bit. I'll stretch that out, and I want that about definitely want it to be visual, a little bit higher than the hackle. And that should float well. It'll be receptive to floated. If you want to use floated. Alright. Blue wing olive. Done. Size 16. With Atron for a wing post.